Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk all about influencing people and how you can increase your ability to influence others. Man, it is incredible how many people do not understand how to make this work for you. So today it's going to be all about tips, strategies, and secrets that I use to help me influence other people. All right, let's dive in. Oh yeah, make sure you stick around for this last tip that I'm going to share with you. It's literally a tip that companies pay me a lot of money to share with them. All right, make sure you tune until the end. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you're looking at influencing people is to build trust. Now, building trust really comes down to your ability to relate to the other person. If you can relate to the other person, i.e. you're more relatable, then your audience can understand where you're coming from. When you're relatable, it's a bit of that, that person's just like me. And of course, we listen to other people that we think are just like me. So when you're looking at understanding how you can influence people more, look at building trust. That's the very first protocol that you want to focus on. Okay, the second most important thing when you're looking at building trust with people is to try and understand their perspective. For me, this really comes down to being empathetic. Empathy. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. The more you can do that, the more you can understand what they're bringing to the table. When you look at understanding somebody else's perspective, you can understand what some of their pain points are. You can understand what some of their aspirations are, where they are currently in life, and perhaps where they want to be. You can do this even if it's broadcast like this. You can do that by understanding who your target audience are before you start to communicate with them. Understanding their perspective is a key way to help you influence other people. Give it a try. Okay, so the next one on our cards is using social proof. Now, social proof has a real strong psychological phenomenon behind it, in that we're more likely to follow somebody if we can see them doing things that are similar to us. By emphasizing the actions and behaviors of other people that they know or are similar to them, you can help create a community, and within that community, you can build trust, which is that first point that I talked about. Not only that, but you're demonstrating them to people that you're just like them. And as we all know, people who are just like them are much easier people to resonate with and find relatable, and in turn, be influenced by. Give that a try. Okay, our next most important step if you're wanting to influence people is to understand the power of storytelling. Storytelling is no longer just an art. In fact, it's a science. All you need to do is to understand what is the goal that you want to achieve in terms of your storytelling, and then breaking it down into bite-sized chunks. Those small chunks, those steps, will help engage your audience, and so you can weave a story within that. Most people that I know, in fact I'd say 99% of us, get bored really easily when somebody's just throwing facts and figures at them. Instead, use those facts and figures and couch them in emotional aspects or parts of your life that are very real. For example, saying to somebody that you wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, while admirable because it gets you ahead of the day, is a cool thing to talk to. But if you wanted to weave storytelling around it, you could talk about, actually, I wasn't always a morning person, and sometimes I would wake up feeling more tired than when I went to bed. But slowly and surely, I started to build up a routine of waking up at 6 a.m. People understand the trials and tribulations that it takes to wake up at that time of the day. So by weaving that emotional and personal story around that fact, you've now engaged your audience, and in turn, you can start to influence them more. Give storytelling a try. So the next step in terms of being able to influence people is using emotive language or even showing emotion. It's really bland and dry if somebody stands there and they're talking to you and they've got no emotion behind them. It's almost like talking to the fridge. But at least the fridge gives you something positive about it in terms of food, right? I've lost count of how many times somebody stood in front of me and they've done a presentation, and honestly, it has left no mark whatsoever on my mind. When someone shows emotion and they're very real about it, it's so much more engaging. After all, emotion is a very human characteristic. So don't be shy in showing that. If you're happy with something, show it. If you're excited about something, show it. And if something really annoys you, don't hesitate to show some of that emotion. It's a very relatable aspect that you can bring to any presentation or conversation that you're involved with. And once again, that'll help you to influence other people. Give that a try. Okay, so when it comes time and you're looking at influencing other people, It is really important that you know your audience. What works with some people may not necessarily work with others. And so you want to tailor your message and how you're delivering that message based upon who your audience is. You know, we've all been in situations where we've heard a message from one person and it hasn't really landed with us, but then we hear almost the identical message from a different person and suddenly it clicks for us and it all comes together. A lot of that comes down to the messenger and how they've delivered that message. So if you're looking at influencing people, whether that's getting the kids to do the dishes or getting your manager to give you a pay raise, then you've really got to understand who your audience is. That is first and foremost the most critical aspect of understanding how you can influence people, because once again, once you've got that locked in and identified, you can start to tailor your message and how you're going to deliver it. Okay, so what are the benefits to being able to influence others? I mean, there's the obvious stuff like getting what you want, and sure, that's always a nice thing, right? But what many people underestimate is the significant value it brings to your mental health. By this, I mean, as you become more comfortable and confident in influencing other people, you will actually find your stress and anxiety levels start to decrease because it's no longer a thing that you start to worry about or have an undue amount of anxiety towards. Being able to influence people is a key characteristic of people that have a growth mindset and high achievers. If you want to be one of those people, start to look at the basics, go back through this video and work out which of those ones you're going to start using today. Now, once again, knowing your audience is going to pave the way significantly for you to go from where you are into where you want to be. And if where you want to be is to be able to influence other people, then get cracking. Awesome. So I trust this video was of exceptional value to you. I know through my coaching that the ability to influence people can have a massive effect on your career progression, your relationships, your business and personal life. The ability to influence other people covers so many facets of our lives, but once again, it's often overlooked how important this is. Please leave a comment and let us know which one of these tips and strategies has resonated most strongly for you, and also which one of those has given you the most success when you've used it. Fabulous, I can't wait to hear all about it. To wrap this all up, influencing people is a skill, and like any skill, it can be grown and developed over time. The more you implement those tips and strategies that I've mentioned, the more familiar you will become with using them, and the more your confidence will grow as your comfort level grows as well. The final outcome of all of that is that you're going to be a more influential person, and that's a great thing to be. Remember, storytelling, understanding your target audience, resonating, putting yourself in their shoes, all of these work together. Make sure you're using at least one of those and then build on top of that with another step. Awesome, I can't wait to share more tips and strategies with you. Bye for now.